I'm Eva, a 35-year-old homemaker. My husband, Christopher, and I have been married for 1 year. After we got married, my husband expressed his desire for me to become a full-time homemaker. Despite my own desire to continue working, I loved my husband dearly and agreed to his request, resigning from my job to focus on homemaking. Since then, I've dedicated myself to being a diligent homemaker, striving to keep everything in order around the house. While I believe I've been improving recently, our early days of marriage were a bit rocky. Hey, Eva. Why are the eggs so overcooked? Oh, I apologize. Would you prefer them half-cooked? Well, obviously. Why would you expect anything less? I'm sorry. And what's with the toast? I specifically mentioned I prefer croissants in the morning. I can't eat toast. All right, fair point. I apologize. Initially, when I moved in with my husband, I was determined to excel at homemaking. However, I made numerous mistakes at first and became disheartened. My husband constantly pointed out minor details about my housework. Why did you stack the dishes like that in the sink? You can't let the water pool like that, do you understand? You're completely clueless about these things. I apologize. And the dinner you prepared. I don't care about the presentation or balance. I don't need that many vegetables. Add more beef, more protein. Got it? My husband was extremely particular. He would get angry over the smallest things. I'm telling you. Arrange all the clothes by color, okay? The jackets are hung in a random order. Look at it. Fix it. Now damn it. My husband would raise his voice when things didn't go his way. This side of him was completely unexpected to me during our dating period. So I was shocked when his behavior changed after marriage. He would get upset if the room wasn't perfectly clean. There's still some dust here. Don't be lazy. Using his finger to trace a corner of the room, he would criticize me like a strict mother-in-law from a TV drama. He would also give me detailed instructions on how to perform certain tasks. Yet he never helped with the housework. My husband believed it was solely the wife's responsibility. Thus, I worked tirelessly to manage everything on my own, constantly battling his harsh criticism. I was exhausted every day. Now as a homemaker, I occasionally wish to meet my friends for lunch or tea during the day. However, I still need to tend to the cleaning. There's barely any time left for laundry or cooking. Despite the challenges, divorce never crossed my mind. I married my husband out of love and was not willing to give up on our marriage so easily. And even amidst his hurtful outbursts, I never felt that he truly despised me. He only wanted me to be a housewife, which satisfied him. Looking back, I believe I may have pushed myself too much in this way. 3 years have gone by. I assumed that because I have lived this way, I would continue to do so. But then something sad occurred. My mother-in-law passed away. My mother-in-law had been in poor health since I married my husband and had been hospitalized for a while. However, she never recovered and died without being discharged. My mother-in-law loved me a lot. She was always nice to me. I've only been married to my husband for 3 years, but I adore my mother-in-law. One time I was alone in the kitchen, making the Thanksgiving meal. My mother-in-law stood silently next to me, listening to my narrative. I know my boys can be a pain in the ass. Please take care of them. Please let me know if you're having trouble. Okay, Eva. My mother-in-law seemed to realize that my husband was seeking a lot of information without informing her. She was my emotional support. As I put the flowers on and stared at her soft, lovely face, tears welled in my eyes. Eva, thank you for loving my mother. I think Mom would have been overjoyed to have you as Christopher's wife. My sister-in-law, Zoe, addressed me, stating that she is generally overseas for work. When she heard of my mother-in-law's death, she returned home temporarily. I hadn't seen my sister-in-law since our wedding 3 years ago. Zoe, like my mother-in-law, is a nice and friendly person. Despite the fact that it had been a long time since I had seen her, I still felt connected to her. On the contrary, she consoles me like this. Following the funeral, we all returned to my in-laws' home. My father-in-law appeared sorrowful when my mother-in-law passed away. My husband is typically very strict with me. What's quiet is the sad expression on his face. When we were going through my mother-in-law's possessions, my husband made me this proposal. Since my father is getting older, why don't we move in here and live with him? I know how lonely it will be for him now that his mother is gone, so I'd like to help him. When my husband said this, my father-in-law smiled and said, "Thank you, Christopher. So what are your feelings on this, Eva? My sister-in-law listened to the exchange and asked me a question. My husband startled me by suggesting that we live together, but I felt sad for my father-in-law who was living alone in this house. I believe moving in together is the best option, since this location is close to Christopher's office. My spouse and father-in-law were delighted when I mentioned that. I'm happy you agree, Eva. Thus, I relocated to my in-laws' house and began living with my father-in-law, but I soon came to regret it. Hey, what are you doing when you wake up? My father-in-law woke me up unexpectedly. What time is it? I looked at the clock and panicked, but it was only 4:30 a.m. What is wrong? What happened? It's only 4:30 in the morning. What exactly are you talking about? I've been up since 4 a.m. Get up and prepare breakfast. I sat in the kitchen in a rush, completely perplexed by my father-in-law's statements. You are a disgrace to your father-in-law. Do you realize that? From now on, you will wake up at this hour every day. Oh crap, I have to be up at 4:30 every morning. I have low blood pressure and struggle to move around in the mornings. But my father-in-law doesn't care and will definitely wake me up if I oversleep even a little. Breakfast is ready. What? What is this? The eggs are loose, and croissants? Do not be silly. I need to consume vegetables in the morning. I apologize. Why can't you prepare a good breakfast? You're useless. My father-in-law has abused me like this since the day we moved in together. It was like seeing my husband on our first day of marriage. It was clear that my husband's attitude was changed by him. That means I'll have to deal with these two on a daily basis starting now. Hello, why didn't you wake me up? I am 15 minutes late for my wake-up time. Oh, I'm sorry, Christopher. Your father instructed me to wash the dishes. Are you blaming my father now? What is wrong, Christopher? Dad, listen, Eva just accused you of forgetting to wake me up. What? Are you making me look bad? How dare you? No, I did not intend that. Say nothing. Don't speak back to me. You do not speak unless Christopher and I agree it is all right to do so. I was speechless. My father-in-law was far worse than my husband, so my spouse took advantage of it, and together they blamed me even more. I felt mentally weary. To make matters worse, my spouse and father-in-law have quite different tastes. I have to do tasks for all of them. Why do you have me say the same thing repeatedly? Do you have no brain? You are such a worthless woman. This is how my father-in-law assaulted me. When my husband and I lived together, he never used such nasty words. However, my father-in-law continues to deny me. I'm not sure why he had to talk so much, but I was too fatigued to decide to go. One of the reasons was that my parents had passed away and I had no place to return to. My husband and father-in-law's constant tormenting caused me physical harm. I shed 10 pounds during the last month. I was not overweight to begin with, but rather on the thin side of the scale, and I've shed a lot of weight. I suppose I was being pushed to my limits without realizing it. Then I heard that my sister-in-law Zoe was returning for a few weeks. I was delighted to see my sister-in-law for the first time in a long time. It had been a year since my mother-in-law's funeral. During that time, I had not seen my sister-in-law. Maybe meeting and chatting with her will make me feel better. That is what I thought. I'm home. I heard my sister-in-law's cheery voice as the front door was unlocked. Welcome home. Dad, you must have gained some weight. Haha, I don't think so. Welcome home, sis. Christopher, hello. How's work going? Okay, good. Hello, Zoe. It has been a while. It's good to see you. Eva, I've missed you so much. Zoe is a really cheery person. Just her presence brightens the atmosphere in this residence. Even my father-in-law, who is typically frigid toward me, is smiling. Eva, let me assist you with something. No, you must be fatigued from the long travel. Please take a rest. It's okay. I would rather move around. My body has stiffened from the flight, you know. Really? Thank you very much. So, will you help me prepare tea? I get it. My sister-in-law's brilliant smile has made me instinctively smile. I'm wondering how long it has been since I've had a chat with a smile like this. We all liked visiting with my sister-in-law over tea. Then my father-in-law asked my sister-in-law Zoe what she wanted to have for dinner. Well, I believe barbecue is good. How is that? Great. Let's have a barbecue for dinner. Yay. I am already becoming hungry, so I'm going to go get some food. Make sure you receive enough of the good stuff, okay? Yes, I will do it. and I was preparing to head out. My sister-in-law inquired of my husband, her countenance filled with curiosity. "What? Christopher, are you not going with her?" "What? Why? Why? Do you want Eva to carry all of the groceries and stuff by herself? You are her husband. Normally you should accompany her and carry the big items, correct?" "No. Why should I?" "She is a housewife. That is her job." "What? What exactly are you talking about?" Forget it. I'll go with her." My sister-in-law sighed and followed me. My husband did not appear to grasp why she was unhappy. She apologized to me as we picked out groceries together. "Eva, I apologize. Cain is such a foolish brother. You doing the cleaning for him allows him to devote himself to work without worry. He doesn't comprehend that, does he? Eva, you should speak up when he acts this way, you know? I wish I could express myself as freely as my sister-in-law. However, 1 against 2 is a no-win situation. We returned home after gathering the necessary ingredients for dinner. I'll prepare for the barbecue. Please take a shower first, Zoe. Okay, thank you. While my sister-in-law was showering, I sliced up the food and placed the table in the yard. When she came up, I kindled the fire and began grilling the meal. Oh, I feel so renewed. I enjoy it when the meal is ready. I'm glad you're pleased. I will bring some cool beer. Wait a second. And as soon as everyone was seated, the meat began to cook nicely. Let us eat. My father-in-law stated this, and everyone started eating the BBQ. What? Why are you not eating, Eva? My sister-in-law inquired curiously as I sat and watched everyone eat. I am not allowed to eat, which is why. It will be a waste of money if I eat. My father-in-law and husband never let me eat expensive meals since they believe my food bills are a waste of money. So the expensive meat I bought today isn't part of my share. I'll just have the leftover vegetables. When I responded honestly, my sister-in-law shot angry glances at the two men, clearly furious. Dad. Christopher. What's going on here? What's the matter, Zoe? Why are you so upset? My sister-in-law's sudden outburst caught my father-in-law and husband off guard. Is this some kind of joke? Why can't heirs eat with us? When my sister-in-law challenged them, my father-in-law and husband exchanged confused looks. It's because she's a homemaker and doesn't earn any money. That's right. She doesn't deserve to enjoy nice meals. My father-in-law and husband stated it matter-of-factly. That's when my sister-in-law stood up and unleashed her fury at them. You're all such jerks. Who do you think you are? She's not your servant just because she takes care of everything at home. You should be grateful and show some appreciation. That's how my sister-in-law scolded my father-in-law and husband, but they seemed unfazed, believing that husbands provide, so wives should be thankful. No, Dad. That's how you made your mother suffer too. Did you realize that? What? Suffer? Of course not. Yes, Mom seemed to be in pain. You were always yelling at her. You didn't even realize how much you hurt her. And you, Christopher, you're just as awful as Dad. I wouldn't be surprised if Eva left you. No, she won't. Eva can't survive on her own without me. Well then, something inside me snapped when I saw my husband's smug expression. Christopher, I want a divorce. I'm leaving you. What are you talking about? I won't let you do that. I don't care if you don't allow it. I'm done being a doormat. With that, I got up and started packing my things. My sister-in-law helped me. Eva, let's go to my friend's place. We'll take this food and have a barbecue at her place. We walked to the front door and put on our shoes. Hey, are you really leaving? Yes, I can't take it here anymore. Let's discuss the divorce with a lawyer. When I said that, my sister-in-law added, I came back this time to tell you about my engagement. I was planning to introduce you to my fiancé, but that's not happening now. I'm never coming back to this house again. When my sister-in-law said this, my father-in-law turned pale. We ignored them and left. Then we went to my sister-in-law's friend's house, where I cooked another barbecue. After that, my husband and I divorced amicably. I was lucky to find a new job, and now I'm living comfortably in an apartment. Meanwhile, my ex-husband and ex-father-in-law struggle with household chores, and their house has turned into a mess. The neighbors complained so much that the police had to intervene. My ex-husband's lack of hygiene is affecting his job negatively. Additionally, my ex-father-in-law had an accident and broke his leg at the landfill. I believe they got what was coming to them. By the way, I've remained close friends with my ex-sister-in-law. I recently visited her country for the first time, and she showed me around. I intend to keep her as a good friend for a long time to come.